בתוך הפיילים, אני מסדר הכל שיהיה לו מסודר, ואני יכול לקחת דברים כדי לחגים ולהביא לפה.
לא מבין למה אתה אומר.
אוקיי?
לא מבין למה אתה אומר.
Grab whatever came from the plate full of stuff. Bring them here.
אני מביא את כל הדברים לחג כדי שיהיה להם לא, כדי שעוד מעט החג, עוד יומיים.
צריך לשאול רשות, מי שמבין.
כן, אני ביקשתי לחלל ולחג.
כן, בצלאל, רק בצלאל. אתה אומר כן? לא. רק בצלאל. אוקיי. מה רובה? So Rove says, Chenian Gitin. There's two Roves. One Rove says, in Daf Gimel Amud Aleph, Ika the Amri, this is 2, 4, 6, 10, 8, 10, 11 lines at the top, page 3a. Ika the Amri Rove says, V'chenian Gitin. What is V'chen? Not only Oines can pushes away the obligation of Mezoinus for 12 months. 12 months falls on Sunday, right? So then I'm Oines, I'm forced. Sick, he's sick. Nida, she's sick, Nida. All those cases is Oines, is one group of Oines. More went to the 2 economics, but the conclusion according to Ravashi, that all Oines works and she doesn't eat. Says Robert says in the same way, it's also in Gittin that Oines works. But the first Robert says, Omar Robert Gittin ain't okay. Reference to Gittin is not so. Only by 12 months or up. Like Subis, we have the Tvias Mezoino that she claimed from her food. Only there we have onsi. But by Gittin, we don't have onsi. So the Gemara's Havamina was that somehow overholds that oines doesn't work. And we try to bring a source for that. Alma kasova rova, and oines begitin. Begitin oines doesn't work. And the Gemara wants to bring a proof from Mishnayos. The Gemara says no, there's no proof. The Gemara says there's no proof because police, modest woman and woman that breaks away the modesty of the world. Because we don't have, because of that, we don't have oines taking effect. This is the Gemara, the structure, the skeleton, what the Gemara is. Okay? We go through proofs. There is oines begitin, like v'chein. Same way oines works by ksubas, also oines works by Gitin or no? Gitin is different because and anus. It's noise and potzois. Okay. This is what the Gemara says. The Gemara goes through proofs to say oines doesn't exist. And the Gemara pushes away the proofs. Right? And according to Rika Namre, we use all those proofs as questions. How do you say there is oines? That Gitin is the same. We see oines doesn't work. The Gemara says no proof. So on the first side that en oines begitin, we brought proofs. 3 proofs, Mishnayos, Braises Mishnayos. We knocked it out. On the second side that oines gitin is like anywhere else in the Torah, and oines works. The Gemara uses the same proofs as questions. They won't push it away. Because of that, because of the structure of the Gemara, Rabbeinu Hananel says, look in Toises Daf Gimel Amud Aleph, Ikanamre Omar Avevechenian Gitin Posak Rabbeinu Hananel. Rabbeinu Hananel Paskin, Kelish Nakama, like the first Loshen. The Ein Oines Begitin. He says, the Aloch is like the Lish Nakama, that the Ein Oines Begitin, because the Lish Nakama, the Gemara proves, the Gemara pushes it away. The Lish Nabasa, the Gemara add questions, the Gemara answer them. So where I should follow the simplicity, which means if I bring proof, the simplicity. If I have questions and I give answers, It's not glut. You ever went to a store, they have glut kosher? What does glut kosher mean? Mahadri means. No questions. But when you have a question and answer, people don't want to touch meats like that. Any meat when a question of a rabbi and answer is not glut. Finish.
Why did Tanakama say what he did?
What?
How did Tanakama, why did he say that?
No, there's no Tanakama. There's two Ikanamas. We have two traditions, what the Rava said. The Rava said that Gittin is different than anywhere else, that Oines doesn't work. Because of Tznuas and Pruchas, the Maskon, the Gemara want to bring proofs on Gemara. There's no proof. So the Gemara says, Rava said on his own, Misvore, as a Takonas Chazal, those Pruchas Vanusois. Okay, even though Midoraisa, there is Oines. It's rabbinic, removed Oines. The second Ikanama holds Gittin is like anywhere else. Oines works. Midoraisa. What? Prutzois ve'tznuois. Remember, you learned the Gemara here? That's why you don't understand my language. Did you get there?
Yeah,
Did you learn the whole page? Okay, so you guys have to learn the Gemara itself. But it doesn't matter much. Why? Because I'm now talking to you outside of it, so analyzing the wisdom and trying to figure out what are the two sides, what is oines, what's the source of oines. That's behind the Gemara, behind the scenery. You can learn it as a preface. It's better to learn it afterwards, after you know the Gemara well, to learn it, but within. But doesn't matter. Now I'm reading it as a preface, and that's to think outside. And that's one of the main thing of learning, is the light behind the words. When I now speak to you, right, I say words. Words has connotation in your mind. Process what I'm saying. Now, like I said, the same words. For you, your mind processes one thing. For him, will process another thing. Why? Because you have a certain experience of life in certain ways. So if you, your emotions and understanding translate those words in a certain way, and he has his experience and his emotions, understanding. Well, it translates another way. The Gemara has words, but there's a light under it that we have to pick up and connect, which is the light in Soif of Hashem. This is what we're doing. This is what it is about. That's all Ziyun is about. But you have to work hard. So in order to do it, you have to learn all the details on the parts, put it together, and then pull outside, think about it, process it, and analyze it, figure out. That's what it is. In order to do that, you have to immerse yourself in learning. And you connect to Hashem. Tveikus to Hashem. That's what it is. Okay. So we have two traditions, what Rava said. Ikanamre, the Lishna Kama, we call it, Lishna Basa, Lishna Kama of Rava. First Lashon, first language, or the first format of the first option the Gemara gives, and Rava says that Gittin is different than Kol HaTorah Kula. That Oilish does not work by Gittin. Rabbinic reason, because modest women and Rutzo is not unmodest women. The Gemara explains why, because if you're going to say Oilish works, modest woman will be always, nervin in Yiddish means always nervous. Oh, maybe the husband gave a get with condition. So he says, and the guy, so they'll say, no, maybe it was, so he says, there's a get if I don't come, he didn't come, so they're divorced. Or maybe they love the husband and they're also afraid of, getting remarried, and maybe there's a prohibition there. Maybe he didn't come because he was forced. We don't know yet. We'll find out later on when there's why he didn't come. So they'll always be hanging on, not getting married. So it's called agunois. Prutzois will be agunois. What? Yeah, it'll be stuck. Oinus takes an effect. Kosher woman, the tznuos, the modest woman, always be stuck because afraid. Oh, maybe, and you ask me, it's a normal thing. Guy says it's a bill divorce. I don't know, 12 months. Went overseas. It's a war zone there. After could be back in a month. 12 months, I'm not back. I'm probably dead. I'm probably cannot come. I have found another woman. I know new life, whatever it is. Okay, but she's at Sanua. She's going to always worry. Let's wait a little bit more. Maybe we'll find out why he didn't come. Maybe it's an oiness. If I'm still married. And how long you wait? Mamzerim. She's afraid of mamzerim. Then she was stuck. Okay, you waited enough. maybe a little bit more. Wait enough, and then she loses her ability to bring children, fertilize it, and finish. So it's noise. Utzos is opposite. Utzos, instead of saying what happened, what really happened, the guy gave Bill a divorce with a condition if it doesn't come in, right? And he didn't come, so he didn't come. And they will say, yippee, right? And he said, listen, he didn't come, yippee, we now can go to another man. We don't worry for Mamzeh. But really, the husband was forced. And if halachically force works, they still married. Shouldn't be Mamzeh. It means they will be rushing right after 12 months to get remarried and not really clarify. Maybe it was anointis. And children will be Mamzerim from that. So we say, listen, don't play around. You're going to save those non-religious girls. I mean, they're not snooze girls. And the snooze girls, we also want them to have ikun, to be stuck. So we say, oinus doesn't play a role. This is the Ra'ov's Pshat. This is Gemara here. The Gemara asks this question. Gemara says, it's a good way. Yes. She got married, he got married, and the condition, listen to the rabbis. The rabbis can break it away. Yes. That's Gemara's point. So what do we have here? A major machloikis. Does oinus work and gittin or not? So the first thing is we have to search what's the source of oinus in the Torah. Can oinus apply here or not? Because if you ask me the simplicity, oinus doesn't apply here. Because here we're talking about obligations. Now, if you ask me by ksuba, I say 12 months I don't come, I need to pay you mazonos. So it's a rabbinic condition, but it's rabbinic condition is basically like a monetary condition. Not exactly so. Monetary condition, I made the condition. Rabbinic condition is a kind of a fine. They don't make the condition. It doesn't matter. In the end, it's a monetary condition. By monetary condition, the rules are that you meet Reuven. The rules are total different rules. We don't care about excuses. If I write a contract, I made a condition that every 60 days I need to give you a payment. And I was forced and I couldn't pay a payment. As long as it is not Makas Medina, remember the concept of Makas Medina? The Mishnah is in Masechet Bava Metzia. Neder Bava Metzia is called Makas Medina, means it's a hit of the country. War, a plague. Unless you don't prove that, if I order 10 rooms in a hotel, and I don't come, I didn't cancel a week before, there is a ruling of cancellation. 50% 2 weeks before, 75% a week before. But when you don't come and I prepared, you have to pay. Right? All excuses doesn't help. I prepared. When you get out of it, if it's a war, if it's a Makas Medina, okay? Those are the rules of monetary rules. When a Makas Medina happens, do we say it's an oinus, or we say when we made the contract, we never made on the condition. It's common sense knowledge included in our contract that in our mind was never to obligate ourselves when there's a Makas Medina, the head of the country, such a noise. Okay, it's all called umdanas. Umdanas means estimation of people contracts. When I make a contract with you, so then what's included, what's not included? Why you go to a lawyer before you make a contract? And the more you spend time before you make a contract, the more you know the contract will sustain itself. Why? Why? Because a lot of different possibilities. And when those possibilities come, which was clear in the contract, it's boom, finished. Unclear, you have to start estimating what was in mind, what is their mind. You have to go, there's something called Ruach, the spirit of the document, a lot of rules and monetary rules. But those are the basic rules. So oines, it's a concept which doesn't belong at all to lichoira, to the world of monetary contracts. So by ksubis, 12 months are up. It's not a monetary contract between people, but it's a monetary contract that the rabbis find the husband to give food money to the wife. So it's in between. It's a night basing, condition of basing. Condition of basing. It's a night basing of money. It's a monetary condition of court. As if you have a rule by the government. You build a house, you have to pay taxes, you have to do this, you have to do that. So the law comes maybe from the government until Torah, condition based, night basing, doesn't matter. But it's a monetary condition. So you have to think in the rules of when the rabbis made those conditions. Same contract. Let's look in the contract of the rabbis. This middle case is included. Now we have to use estimation. Unclear places, fakers, you can take up money. There's rules, monetary rules. We have a lot of monetary hands and fingers that we learn in all those years that you learned, right? Oh Hashem, 20 years. We're being taught a lot of the rules, of monetary rules, is to solve those problems. That's what we're learning all day long, right? That's what we're busy for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, what everybody's learning. Or 1 year, 2 years, what are you guys learning? Doesn't matter. But those are the tools how to solve those problems, these rules. Is that now thinking about that?
Right track.
Right. It's true. It's true. Okay, so let's continue on. So the choiro, we have to investigate what's the source of oiness from the Torah that the Gemara already in page Beis Amud Aleph applied oinsis. He's sick, she's sick, neither not in the right, not in a normal cycle. The Gemara wanted to make a rule of all onsim are equal, right? One may say, no, only oiness of the rabbis, not this, not that. But if it was all onsim, we accept it as a premise that oiness works even in a monetary condition, which that itself is something we have to question. We have to stop and ask, hey, you're jumping the gun. Doesn't apply here. By Gitin is different. Because Gitin is what? There's prohibitions. Oh.
Because let's say she was evil, and his brother's gonna track the land.
Okay, but that's an offshoot, spin-off. The subject matter of Gitin is prohibitions. However, we didn't get out of the strangling. Why? Because even Gitin is something which is a free will. You give a get by free will, right? Free will, you give a get. So what is there to say about force? Force, not force. Do you want to give? You don't want to give. If you wanted to give and you were forced not to give, so you didn't want to give, finish. What's the problem? But if you made a condition, giving a get with condition, so now you want to know if the condition took effect or not. Those are rules of, we call it chalois, law taking effect. My condition took an effect, but my condition didn't take effect. Those are the same rules of monetary, which is monetary means human monetary conditions. Monetary, why monetary? We follow umdin's estimation, because monetary condition is a human condition. So we want to know what we agreed. The same thing as if I make a get, although a get is prohibition, but I'm talking about now, I gave a get on my free will. Starts as a free will. I'm not talking about force against my free will. I'm talking about I made a condition. It's a humanitarian condition between two people. When you talk about human condition between people, those are the rules of monetary rules. We fight. We use umdana. We use estimations, rules of estimations, right? So what this oinus business get into here? Oinus could be in the box of estimation, but not oinus of oinus rachmonopatre, the Torah exemption. Okay, this is the most fundamental problem as a star, in the South first, because Robert suddenly says, "Ein oinus begitin." The said there is, but the rabbis, of course, want to protect the modest girls and the unmodest girl. And the other Robert says, Lishna Basa says, "No, Gittin is the same. Oinus works. Oinus on the patre. Doraisa from the Torah. So, where do we find Oinus works? It's a question of umdana. Umdana, estimation. Those have nothing to do with Oinus. On a patre, not patre. Okay? Where the Gemara did say that we use this concept of if you look carefully, the Gemara just used the word honest. The Gemara never used the word honest. Only one place, the Gemara used the word midoraisa from the Torah. And Rashi jumps the gun and he shoots and he says, what does it mean from the Torah? Where in the Torah honest works? Honest Nachmona Patri by the Nile Tassador, which we have to now, let's see it right now. Dav Gimel Amud Aleph, page 3A, 3 lines on the top. The Gemara says, for 5 lines on the top, Mi kamidi divnoraisa la'aveged. Is it such a thing that from the Torah is not a get? Umishum tznois, umishum prutzois, sharinen eishes le'am. The Gemara is attacking. How is it possible that from the Torah, when somebody gives a get on a condition, from the Torah is not a get? Why? The Gemara didn't say why. If somebody says, I'm giving you a get in condition, I don't come in 12 months, and he had a force. So from the Torah, the Gemara holds is not a get. Because he says a get if I don't come. But I was forced not to come, not because I didn't come. So from the Torah, which means honest, it's something which from the Torah knocks out is not a get. And how come the rabbis, because of modest women or unmodest women, they permit this woman to say, no, it is a get. There's no oiness, so I don't care about an oiness. You didn't come, you fulfilled the condition, and she's free. How's it possible? How can you free a married woman from the Torah she's married, and just the rabbis, because of modest women, unless they free a woman for marriage, you need a get. What's this process? The answer is they destroyed the kiddushin. On this point, the Gemara takes a position that from the Torah, she is midoraisa. The Gemara says, mi kamidi, the midoraisa lo get. That when a person gives a get with a condition, he doesn't come because of a force. The Gemara gives a statement from the Torah is not a get. Means they're holding that the force is a Torah rule that is not considered that I didn't fulfill the condition. Where do we see that oinus is a Torah rule that's not considered fulfill the condition? So right away Rashi says, let's see Rashi, 3 lines on the top. The midoraisa, lo avigita, from the Torah is not a get. Shematzinu, that we found, tainas oinus minatorah. We found a claim of force from the Torah. Shenema, as it says in Deuteronomy 22, v'la na'ara lo taseh davar. That a young girl, you don't do anything. Whoa! What Rashi revealed? Where's written in the Torah that oinus is something which not considered I didn't fulfill the condition? I learned it from Arusa, a woman that she was engaged, Kiddushin, and she was raped. The Gemara, the Torah says in Deuteronomy 22, which we had it last week, Torah says, what the Torah says there? If she was raped in the city, kill both of them. Rape in the field, you don't kill her. Because she probably shouted and nobody heard her. But the Gemara used probably.
She could have either been like Akra or she could have.
Yeah, but most likely he raped her. She shouted, and nobody's there to help her. Even if it's not found, if it's a suffix, you don't kill a person as a suffix. It's normal. That's the nature of women. When you rape them, they shout so loud, so they want to be saved. And the Gemara says it's like somebody comes on you to kill you. What can you do? Somebody comes with a gun, with a spear, with a knife. You can't do nothing about it. You can shout. You can rescue. And he has a knife. You don't. Or say, yeah, the man has strong physical strength. The woman doesn't. So she don't do anything for her. From there we learn the concept of oinus. This is what Rashi says. Shematzinu tainas oinus. We found a claim of oinus min haTorah, where the woman says, I was engaged, I was cohabitated, but it was a claim of an oinus. It says, Shenema, you don't do nothing to the girl. She has a claim of oinus, of force. So we see oinus, it's a claim that removes death from her. So from there, Rashi says, the Gemara learns that oinus should work from the Torah to the level that when 12 months are up, it falls on Sunday, 12 months are up and he's sick or she's sick, and the Gemara held before that it's oinus, is not considered not fulfilling the condition, not marrying this girl, not being prepared to marry her. Because it's oinus. Oinus does not consider that I didn't fulfill the condition. Also here, oinus is not considered that I didn't fulfill the condition not coming because I'm oinus. We find by a girl that was raped, a girl that was engaged, kiddushin, and she is Naira Moirasa, we call it, Naira Morasa, engaged girl, that she was oinus, and the Torah says, you don't do anything to the girl. So from there we learn oinus. This is a big problem. Why? Let's see the Rashash in the papers. You guys have the papers?
He put 12 months. He's clearly making out tonight 12 months.
Again?
So he says 12 months, he's clearly making it tonight 12 months.
It doesn't. So let's get married. After the engagement, we do, okay, when are we going to be married? 12 months?
No, remember like it.
By getting, yes. 12 months, yes.
12 months.
Right.
If he wanted it to be that he's gonna be free from in the case of this, he should have just said a minute before I died.
Right.
I'm giving you the gift. What is he trying to do? He's trying to free her from you.
There's few cases. One of them is one to free from you. Another is it could be. We have few cases.
That's really. It's not because he wants to divorce her. He's trying to create a situation where.
Created situation could be yibum, free from a situation could be that doesn't want her to be stuck. Doesn't know what's going on with it.
This is making the time right before I died.
Yes.
If it's 12 months, Louis sincereness, and you'll never know if he actually died or not.
Right.
If he said right before I died, so you're never gonna know this either. Once
Right.
She's been free.
Yes.
Once made it tonight, why do we care about this? We made a specific tonight on time. Why do we care about this?
The Gemara says you're right. The Gemara talking about if there is oinus begitin or there isn't. The Gemara says if there is oinus begitin, so the answer is yes. Not always we know his mind. Well, not always we know his mind. Yeah, but not always. If it's extreme oinus, you know his mind. If it's a simple oinus, you're right. It should have made a condition, but it's not so simple oinus that people don't have in mind. You don't know what is in his mind.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in his
But
mind.
he could have easily gotten
It's unknown.
Fine, who writes Gittin? People are buckets and Gittin.
Yes.
You could have said, if you want to be part
No. He didn't write the gittin. The husband made a condition on the get. A sofer wrote the get, and before he gives it to her, he made a condition. He made that. He's a normal person.
The sofer could be like, if you just want to free her, but it's not a case of this. So just right, a minute before.
Right away, we la locha. That's what we do. We don't allow. Halachically today, we don't allow to give gittin with conditions. No. Only ways to do. I just now heard a story from a big Baal Gittin in Brazil. He told me, he came the other day here, and he said, Shlomo Goldberg said, that time when you have Sofek Mamzerim, so you do through Shlichus and you do condition that give many times, then you cancel it. So you mail it, the rabbis cancel it, the mafreh from the Kiddushin, and that's how you matter the Mamzerim. Yeah, it's a whole story. Sometimes they use those rules, but normally every get doesn't work. We don't give gittin with conditions or shlichus. We're trying to minimize problems. Although we have many tractates are full of that, but because of those problems, we want to run away from it. Today, people are looking for a mahadrin get.
Before they give a get, they always tell the husband.
Bitul moedois. All conditions, isn't it? So Beis Din wouldn't get involved. But in the Gemara's days, they got. But that because of those problems, they're afraid.
What about not giving the ksuba? Can you tell us that I don't have to pay the ksuba?
Yes, it could before the marriage, between engagement and marriage.
No,
That's something else.
And he said that I'll give you the get almanas. I don't pay.
Most men want to do that.
Oh.
Most men want to do that. Yes, but it's a knife basing. The rabbi said it's a Torah obligation.
He's giving the get almanas.
If she forgives, most get they say like this: I cannot make a condition to give you a get, not to give you ksuba, because that's my obligation, the Torah obligation. You, the wife, can forgive. It's a monetary gift. So I say, I'm not going to give you a get unless you forgive. Most divorces, there's no ksuba because of that. Because most divorces are harsh divorces. Less, there's a reason I needs a divorce, but she committed adultery. He runs around with soy so the basin forces him, etc. like this. When there's forces, the other reasons, so then he has to pay full. Or when there's kids, so then forget about your conditions. The basin looking to take care of the kids. The money goes to the wife, to the kids, etc. Right? It's not money, but normally all those things they're being taken care of. Okay, let's go back to us. So let's refocus. Page 3 in Diaspora Yeshiva papers. Yes, he is. Yes. Yes. And he spends a lot of time on this. Yes, for you. Do you have? Yes. I dictate them what I put in, and he puts it up together nicely. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah.
What's his name?
Yosef Brickman. It's his friend, actually. Yes, very good friend. Yes. One thing I didn't put in yet is the Birkat Shmuel. Then I'm saving Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. There's a lot more to tell about. Until we get there. Base, Aleph. You guys are doing it? Good. So you get now. You're gonna read. Right. That's what we're gonna get there. That's exactly what we're gonna get there. But we first have to learn all the details and the foot. I saw the foot fight. You know, you have wars. You have the soldiers that the ground foot on the ground conquering the land. Then you get there. So you put your foot on the ground. Okay. Siyata d'Shmai. So we're gonna read Rashi. Rashi here, Midoraisa lo avekite, shematzinu we found. So the Gemara says from the Torah, when somebody gives a get with condition, that if I don't come in 12 months, it's a get, and he didn't come because of a force, from the Torah it's not a get, because it's a get if I don't come. But I couldn't come, so it's not considered I didn't come from the Torah. Why? Because I couldn't come from a force. It's not considered that I didn't come? Yes. Shematzinu tainas oynish, we found a claim of force. Mina Torah shenema, as it says, comes the Rashash. Heard about the Rashash? What? The Gemara one. The Nigla one. Rashash, Masechet Ksubis, Daf Gimel Amud Aleph. It's Reb Shmuel Strasson. He was the Av Bezin of Vilna. Page 3. Comes the Rashash and he has a question. Very important question, which is the opening of the subject we want to speak about today. Rashi Dibur Matchil, Midoraisa lo avekita, Shenemar v'lanaisa. It's a quote of Rashi. Comes the Rashash and he says, Benedorim, in Tractate Nedorim, Chav Zayin, page 27. Dochila, the Gemara pushes off that there's no source from the Torah that there is tainas oil is a claim of force. Why? Ktolo shiny. Death, killing is different. What's the simple question is? Normally, if you read in the Torah, Torah says, don't kill the woman. Even at Kedekari said, Sofikoin is a doubt. We don't know if she shouted or not, but we assume she shouted. and he raped her. So it's a claim to save a woman from death. So there we see a claim of force for a death penalty. I'll put in a phrase of punishment. Punishment of okay. I'm not responsible. The woman says, I'm not responsible. I was raped. I was forced. So how can you punish me? So in the world of death, what? No, it is. I said Suffolk. Stomach. Yischaim said was 80. From far, they saw he raped. They saw from far. They didn't see exactly what happened with her. Reb Shmuel Strasson. He was the Av Beis of Vilna. About 150 years ago, 200 years ago. He's a big man. So he says, Lichoira, I don't see how our Gemara learns that the source from where we know Midoraisa, from the Torah, oinus, is not considered the fulfillment of the condition, because I'm forced. We see it by Ksubis, but the Gemara by Ksubis didn't say oinus works, the Gemara didn't say the source. And by us, by Gitin, the Gemara says the Doraisa source. We don't know where from the Torah. The Doraisa, oinus works. The Gemara didn't say where's the source of the Torah, but Rashi explains Torah means oinus of a raped woman. He says, what do you mean? That's the source of oinus works? It's not a good source. Because the Gemara in the Dogim pushed it away. The Gemara said that oinus is exemption of death. Ktola shiny, death is different. It's punishment. And more than that, I'm searching for ways to save a woman. There is a law, it's called V'itzilo Eida. Torah says the congregation needs to rescue. If somebody has a death trial, there is an obligation on the court and the people to search for rescuing him, search for claims, that to sit down, the Beis Din, search for claim to rescue. If he says that there's other rules and ramification to that. Called V'itzilo Eida. The aid of the congregation, it's to rescue the woman. So there, the Torah made the rescue. They say she's forced and therefore don't have a penalty. So that's only as far as death. Want to say, right, when a woman was raped, we don't give a death penalty. But who says in the world of money, in the world of prohibition, conditions, who says there, oinus, force works? You can comparing apples with oranges. There's two different species. You can compare. That's the Rasha's question. So we have to see in short the Masechet Nedogim, page 27. Okay? And then we'll see the Ma'arit's answer. So there's two major avenues to answer this question, and that makes a major difference in the thinking and structuring all the sugya. So that's why even I'm enjoying to do it as a preface. Okay, so when you learn the sugya, you have those two, and then you have to search what's the true way. Bish, that's already your eve, no obligation. Okay? So we'll start with the Gemara in Masechet Nedogim, page 27. It's in page 2. It's printed on page 2. Everybody has it. We can look inside. Masnisin, it's a Mishnah. It's a Mishnah Masechet Nedogim, page 27. Nidronsi. 11:15, you should leave. I have 20 minutes. Nidronsi. A vow of force. The Mishnah brings a case. And what's the case of a vow of force that doesn't work? Somebody made a vow. He tells his friend, if you're not going to eat by me, you cannot enjoy my food, my money anymore. What a way to force your friend to come to you, right? Good deal. If you don't come to eat by me, always tell me stories. Now Sukkot's coming up. By the way, you guys should know in Sukkot, Bezrat Hashem, and Yom Tov and on Shabbos, I invite all the guys in the yeshiva to eat by me in my sukkah. Every year, besides the last 30 years, 20 years, 5 years, I don't know, whatever it is. Everybody can come to my sukkah. I have meal of Yom Tov night and day, Shabbos 3 meals. Anyone that says an issue doesn't go nowhere else, or wants lechatchila to come to me. So I'm inviting you guys to come. Anyhow, so, but a lot of people tell stories. So you put a vow. I'm a diroy. You don't come to eat by me, you're prohibited me. He made a vow on his friend to force him to eat by him. The Mishnah says, well, what happened? He became sick. That friend became sick. Or his son comes sick, he can't leave his house. Or the river prevented him from coming. Inside. You know this Gemara? Went through it? So then you don't have to. If you have any mind, it's okay. It's in page 2 in the bottom. Need to go and sing. Those are vows of force. Mishnah says, I made a condition. If you don't eat by me, you go prohibit. And he didn't come, he didn't fulfill the condition of the vow, because he was forced, sick, son sick, prevented him. So then the Mishnah says it's oines, it's not considered him not coming, and the vow doesn't take an effect. Wow. So now we found another case. We have ksubis, we have gitin, we have ksubis and gitin in the meantime, and we have death. Those are 3 places. Torah is the death. The Gemara expands this concept. We don't know, but Rashi says that when the Gemara says oines by ksubis or oines by gitin, there is midoraisa going to everyone. The Rabbanon is machloikes. Rashi says the concept of oines by gitin, and same thing by ksuba. It's the source of oines of the Torah of don't do anything to this girl, to the rape. We call it naira morosa, engaged girl that was raped. She was oines that doesn't do anything. Oines there, oines in. Now the Gemara expands it also to nedorim, right? So if I want to make setup in order, I would say there's death. A death you always want to save, but there is prohibitions. Prohibition is also punishments. So in one way, prohibition is punishment, death is punishment, but this really is not similar, because there, by killing is a death punishment. Here is not a prohibition by gitin and by vows. Is not a punishment. It's not fulfilling a condition that people made, humanitarian condition between people in order to make the vow apply. It really is a humanitarian human condition. So it's totally out of the box of punishments. Right? So let's see. Gemara brings a story. Who is this man? The Atpis Zechvaso Zechusve or Zechvaso Bebeitina. With this man that he gave a check, he gave a document that gives him rights, monetary rights. He put it in court. He made a condition. If I don't come within 30 days, or until 30 days, those rights which I have in those documents should be canceled. He puts his rights, his document that represents his rights in court, and he makes a condition. He tells the court, if I don't come in 30 days, I'm going to lose my rights on those documents. I'm depositing the proof of my rights by you. No, that's a different story. That's not this story. That's not this story. Not this story. This is a different story. He says, he deposited his rights in court. He tells the court, if I don't come in 30 days, I'm losing my rights. Not because I'm getting more rights. In those cases, he wants to bring more proof to his rights. Here, he's not bringing more proof. It's a complete proof. It's a document, complete proof. Just if I don't come in 30 days, I lose my rights. So a person can forgive his rights. It's a monetary thing. A person can forgive again. We don't know. Why? Maybe he's going to die. He's going to die. He says, the 30 days I don't come. I let go of this whole story. Could be 50 stories. He has a fight with his nephew. There's that. So I don't really want to fight. Like, there's 50 reasons to make sense to us. But those are the rules. These will also.
What was the example for right that you put in based on?
I said very simple. I have a document that it says that this land is mine. That's all. And it's a document. My nephew argues this and that, or my uncle argues about it. But I have a clear document here I'm putting in court. I'm going away. If I'm not going to come in 30 days, means I'm letting go of this. I don't care about this little town anymore. I'm going to the big city. I'll try my 30 days. I know what's my direction. I lose my friends. I don't care. I do that all the time. I know so many people. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I spoke to a guy. His parents inherited him. They died. Inherited him a house and a huge building, a school. But what happened was in the big city, but that, people move around. And also the people that live there move around. It became a very dangerous area. They call America a black area. It became what? They change all the time. He says, I don't give a damn. Just, I'm leaving that place and even went to acquire, to register, nothing. Just walk away. He said, I don't care about it. Let it burn down. I don't care. I don't want to live there. I don't even want to try to sell it. Shootings there. There's drugs. Not for me. Bye-bye. You would do that? No, because probably it's a piece of land that's very hard to get the right buyer. So complicated. There's drugs there and shootings and killings, gangs, and you don't even go there. Afraid to go there. You bad memories. A lot of dangers. It happens a lot. I had two women. Another woman came in one day. Two people told me the same story. For me, it was like you said. No, they blame me after it. I don't care about it. You don't know the rest. How are you going to get a lawyer there? Who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy a house in the middle of a drug area? You have to wait till it gets. Anyhow, that's a real story. I'm sorry. He was forced and he didn't come. Ravuna says, he lost his rights. He forced, he didn't come, we don't care about force. He didn't come, he didn't come. Baruch, come in here. You with us? Come in. Come in. We start at 11 o'clock and we finish 11:30. Start at 10 o'clock, finish 11:30. Every day during the week, I start my class 10:30, finish 12. Yeah, because we're off sacked and I wanted to go 10:15. So we start 10, finish. Those who leave is 11:15, and I continue on a little bit to 11:30. Anyhow, let's go here. So Ravuna holds that he lost his rights. Why? But it was forced. He says, so what? Force doesn't apply here. We have to know why. Omar le Rove told him. Means Rove who has lived in the time of Ravuna. Omar le Rove. Itnis onusu. It's an oines. Oines rachmone patri dechsiv. They're exempt from oines, as it says. See here, the Gemara and the Dogim revealed where is the source of exemption. The Naila from the death penalty of this Naira Moiroso, the young girl that was engaged girl. You don't do anything to her because rape, oines. So we see oines Ramon Patri. So Robert told him also this guy, he made a monetary condition. If I don't come in 30 days, I lose, and he didn't fulfill because he was forced. So how can you, Ravuna says, I don't care, you didn't come, you lost your rights. Ravuna says, what do you mean, he's forced? In the Torah, we see in the parasha of Oines, the Torah exempts the woman from being killed. Also here, he didn't come, we should exempt him for not fulfilling his condition. He has exemption of death. If he came, and if you're going to say Ktola Shiny, death is different. Oh, that's what the Rashash quote. That death is different. How can I learn as a source that Oines Rachmone Patri exempts you from punishment, death, to Oines that is considered that I didn't fulfill the condition, I didn't come in 30 days by a monetary condition. He is pure monetary condition. It's not condition of prohibition of Gittin, which is Gittin is prohibitions, but it's a humanitarian condition which is similar to a monetary. But this case of this Gemara is a total pure monetary condition between two people. Made a condition with the court. I lose my rights, my monetary rights. So he gave up. He forgave his money, and we don't know so we don't know if he didn't fulfill because he was honest. The one said, I don't care. I said, what do you mean you don't care? It's honest when the Torah exempt. And if you're going to say when the Torah exempts you honest from death, but who says by a monetary condition? Vatna. Rova brings a proof from the Mishnah of Nedorim vow to this rule. Vatna we learn Nidronsi, vows of force. Friend vowed against you, if you don't eat by me, you're going to be prohibited to me as a vow. He became sick, the guest, or his son, or Shikvan, or a river prevented him. Is not considered not coming. Because the oinus. So Rabbi says, I see oinus is applied not only to punishments, also to humanitarian condition between people, and it should be also by humanitarian condition of monetary condition. It's all the same base. What? We don't say it's Doraisa. You see, the rabbis extended there. So Rashi says, it's Doraisa. The Rasha says, the Gemara, push, it's not Doraisa, Ktola Shiny. You can say the rabbis extended. Right. But don't say Doraisa. That's the Rasha's kash. Okay? But must be, Rashi understood that the Gemara's answer is not a rabbinic rule that we extended. It's an understanding. The rabbis understood what oinus does. And the Das, we'll see there's two options here to explain this Gemara. There's the Maharit and there's Reb Chaim Alevi. Two schools, totally different schools. You might see very clear the brisk world and the old school world, how they learn the Gemara. Okay? When you see the Maharit, then we see Reb Chaim Alevi. And on base of that, and the Reb Chaim Alevi's school comes the Birkat Shema. Because he came from that school. But it's a whole different school. And we have to make a decision, what's better? What is a better school? That's what we're going to want you, and I'll prove you. I have an understanding. I'll prove my point. It's not a shit. If you have time, let's continue on. So we read now the Shut Maharit. Comes to the Maharit, you see, Shut Maharit, and he says, the Ein Litois, it's in page 3. People have it, Shut Maharit, page 3. The Ein Litois, don't make a mistake, Miriato the Gemara, from the running language of the Gemara. The language can deceive you. Whoa. The Loiman say the Tama, Aveda, the reason why I don't consider that I didn't fulfill the condition of oines, the Tama Ava Mishum the oines machone patre. Because the Torah by force, the Torah exempts you. And you don't make any difference. Wait a second. Oines, if it's proven, what is moichiach? Things which are proven in my mind. It's that I did it. It's not proven. I didn't bring a proof that that's what I meant. When it's proven, you know what I meant. Non-moichiach is not proven. You don't know what I meant. So then we have rules. What happens? I made a condition and I don't know if I meant what I meant. One was moitz, one takes out, need to bring a proof. So why we use, you don't know about it, but it's honest. Follow the rules. If it's moichiach, proven, it's part of his das. Part of his das. Why we don't play around with that monetary people's das condition? Why are you jumping to a rule? He says, don't make a mistake from this language that we don't care about it. Don't make a mistake from the quick language of the Gemara that they quote this pasuk, and that's what it means. The Gemara says, How do we know oinus works? Because the Torah says, don't do anything to the girl. And the Gemara asks, v'chulei, etc. V'chiteima, if you want to make it push off. Tolo shiny, death is different. Otoni cholo, we learned by nidronsim that he made a condition that you are prohibited to me if I don't come. If you don't come to eat, you prohibit to me, and he was sick. Otoni cholo is not considered not coming. Mashma, from the simplicity of the lingua of the Gemara Mashma, can infer from this the time of the Masnisi, that the reasoning of the Mishnah, Mishum Oines Achmona Patre, because force the Torah exempts you. He says, that's mistaken. Those words can deceive you. The whole Lesa, this is not true. The Al-Kocho, by definition, Ki Patre Achmona, when the Torah exempts you, L'onus, one who's been forced, me'onesh patre, from a punishment the Torah exempted. You don't punish the girl, or you don't punish one who breaks a vow. You don't punish one who breaks an oath. Kegoin, for example, nishba lakika, somebody made an oath to eat a loaf of bread. Sorry, he took an oath not to eat the loaf of bread. And he ate it by force. Somebody put his mouth on it, better eat it, beat him up. A government, in such a case, that they exempt him from punishment. Dumya similar. The call from the verse, don't do any punishment to the girl. Punishment. That's where oinus applies. They exempt you. Exempt means exempt the person from a punishment, from responsibility. But here is not responsibility and punishment and responsibility. Here is a question of conditions, between humanitarian condition between people. Aval beneder al tnai, a vow and condition, it's a humanitarian condition, an agreement between two people. Venenas, and he was forced. The over al tnai, he transgressed the condition. We have a monetary rules. We have a humanitarian rules. Things which are not proven, we throw it out. Why? If it's in his heart and the heart of everyone, so we know that's the part in. But if it's only hidden, you got the rhythm. You're going to probably for sure get complete with it. See the methods of Chaim Alevi, and there's a talk more about it. But you got it's in your head. Okay, she says we have a normal rule. If it's in his heart, in the heart of all man, okay. So we assume that's included. That's part of the humanitarian condition. We fill it up. If it's only in his heart and he made a condition, we don't care about his heart. You care what he said in your mouth. The heart is we throw out. Those are the rules. We have rules. So therefore, since the guy was forced, he didn't fulfill his condition. So we don't say, listen, in his heart was that if he was forced, he will come. We don't care about that. He made a condition, he didn't come. No, we say it's in your mind when you made a condition not to come, you want to exclude a case when you were forced. You didn't specify, you didn't take a lawyer to write the small details. Boom, you didn't come, you lost. Alameda, Shapi, the vow is taking effect nicely. Oh, so now the Ma'arit has to retranslate the Gemara. What do you say, Rabbi Yosef? I can't hear you. Right. But he's asking, don't make a mistake. That is not how, because of oinus rachmona patre, because that concept of patre, it's exemption of punishment. And we talk about humanitarian condition between people, agreement between people. We have a different rules. Umdana we call it. You heard of the concept umdana? Estimation. If I made a condition and you can estimate that I didn't mean to obligate myself in this case, and how this estimation means it's estimation of common estimation, the heart of everyone. So If it's only in my mind, but normal people wouldn't estimate that, is out. So there's rules, and monetary rules of condition between people. Or even not monetary rules. Condition between people, humanitarian condition, even it's a vow, it's not money, it's isur. But Lamaisa, it's t'nai. Vow at night. T'nai is a humanitarian condition between people. So then there's rules. It's in his heart. People are going to how can you you're using apples and oranges. You're mixing up the concept of ptur of oynesh to t'noim between people. It's on different rules. Capish? It's a very serious question. So the Marit says, don't be deceived with the language. Don't be deceived with the language. So he gives a solution. How do you read the Gemara? You hear that, Rebbe Simcha? Gives a solution how to read the Gemara. And that's one option. Came Reb Chaim Alevi, came another option. Came the Shlomo Chaim Alevi. So two schools here. Two schools how to read this Gemara. Yes. He's going to give an answer in a second. Another 3 lines. You can be dancing and thinking, wow, I understand. Capiche? Don't understand. Let's see what he says. He can give the answer. Now let's see. So he says, first of all, don't be fooled. Although the Gemara is that language, doesn't mean literally that. What does it mean? Oh, the Kroma, but the Gemara says, the Gemara itself says, how can I learn from Naira Moiroso? Naira Moiroso is death. It's punishment. How can I mix death punishment to humanitarian conditions between people, which are different rules? And the Gemara pushed it off, etc. This is where really you have to reread the Gemara. The Marit has a new pshat to read the Gemara. That's what it means. We didn't say oines that there exempts you, only there and death. Not death is the reason. The Gemara says death is different, means not death is the difference, which means when the Torah said oines works, only by death. But the machinery of oines, that's what he says. So maybe you would say it's only a chidush, local chidush. You know the local chidush? Mekomi. It's not something that is a binyan av to teach everywhere. Because if I want a binyan av, learning from one place anywhere else, if I make a chiluk, I say maybe it's only chidush HaTorah by death. Who says anywhere else? Not does mean because of death. That means local. Only they're local. But now the Gemara says, I see that by Nedorim, when he makes a condition in monetary t'nai, that oinus works. So we see from there, the lo'ave time in b'shum oinus. So there, when he makes a condition, if you don't come to me, you're going to be vowed, it's not because of oinus. Why? Because I'm talking about here, nidron by condition. Yet, the Mishnah says he's exempt. So he can use oinus. Oinus is exemption of death, exempting of punishment. And yet, we use the concept of oinus even in condition, and he's exempt. Mishum, and here's the punchline. Here, how the Maharit answers. Mishum de chazoko shelo yinodar al das what is Aleph Chof? What? Shelo yinodar al das shelo yinodar al das im kein ochanan. Okay, maybe shelo yinodar al das kein ochanan, but shelo yishno. Which means, what he's saying, although the Gemara uses the language, it's a deceiving. Doesn't mean literally. So the Maharit jumps from taking the words and translates not literally because it's a question. He had a question, couldn't answer it, couldn't budge from it. See, what he did is he says, really, it means, not oinus, literally, it means in umdanas. Umdana. Somebody says, you're not going to be prohibited to me if you don't eat by me. And he was sick, son is sick, Oh no, didn't means not oinus on a patre. It's not just using the word. It's a buzzword. It means not oinus of onsim. It means oinus that you say hazoka. It's hazoka means estimation in this meaning, this connotation. I estimate that he made a vow in such a position. Also, when he says, if I don't come, I lose my rights. It's 30 days. But he didn't come because of oinus. An estimation, hazoka, that he didn't make a vow, he didn't lose his rights. If he didn't come, he couldn't come become an oinus. So basically, what really he's saying,
Never read the vow.
but it doesn't fit Rashi. Rashi said, the source of the rights is not as a dover. That's simple Rashi, right? And the Rashash right away is, how can you learn from that? It's Ktola. So the Marit says, yes, but we pushed it off. That is not, Ktola doesn't mean, Ktola means death, Ktola means local. And we prove that it's an extension that really, but really doesn't mean oinus of punish, exempt him of a punishment. It means oinus of that you assume is believable. That's what he meant, which means it's a monetary umdana. It's only a buzzword, but doesn't mean literally it's just a use of a word to mean something else. Means that there's hazoka. Oinus means I can estimate hazoka is das that he didn't make a vow in such a case. Simple. So that's how the Marit ran away from the problem. The Hava mean like always kash is tolo shiny. It doesn't mean tolo punishment. How can I make a demon between punishment and humanitarian condition, which are different rules? It wasn't the question, right? Because even when he said out the road, the Marit learns it's only a concept, it's only a buzzword to mean that's what he's das. So he says, well, how do you learn that that's oinus? That's his part of his das. Maybe there's only local, and says no. We see that we see the answer. The Gemara said that's his das, and even in tonight that's his das. That's the back and forth. He doesn't see Rashi at all. He learns the Gemara as not literally as a moshel, as a buzzword to tell you oinus means part of his das. What? Anywhere the Gemara speaks about oinus, so he says it's really not oinus of oinus of the punishment of Ktola. No, it means oinus that part of his das. But Tosfos in our sugya doesn't say that. Tosfos says this level of oinus. Oinus was very clear, abnormal. So it's not part of it. It's like he never obligated himself. A lion came and ate him up. Tosfos says, you saw the Tosfos? Tosfos says, Gimel mina onsi. Look in Tosfos. You have to learn the Tosfos. You guys have to prepare. But I'm jumping ahead. You guys have to prepare. Tosfos makes there's 3 levels of onsim. This level of onsim of oimeri. See, this is second line from the biggest wide line. Oimeri. In Daf Gimel Amud Aleph. Oimeri. The Gimel Inyon onsim. There's 3 types of onsim. Ein are they? The oines lo yishchiach klal. Oines which is not common at all. Ka'id mishoch hazoi. Like the case of lining him up. Even if Shekama holds a yesh oinus, no yesh oinus, Lishna Kamala holds en onsim, they will admit doch yesh oinus. Why? The loishay chosom letaken mishum tznuis mishum prutzos. There's no takon of the Rabbon in such a case. Abnormal oinus. The loilam savret tznuis, they will never thought to be nervous. And maybe the husband didn't come because the house fell on him, or shikishanochosh, or a snake, bite him. Came no shiach klas, not coming at all. There's no reason for the rabbis to worry for that. Shumprutzois. See what he's saying. Oinus, which is totally abnormal. Not only midoraisa, you assume that he never meant to obligate himself in a condition, monetary condition. He never meant oinus, which is abnormal. Even rabbis, no reason for the rabbis to throw that oinus. There's no problem of tznuis. There's no problem of whatever. There's no problem of putzois. You should put us 90 lekel mechash. Kevan de lushchichi. It's not common. She has to will do so. See, they cannot say, "Oh, I'm an oinus happened." She said, "Listen, he didn't come. We are divorced." And they don't wait to find out an oinus. When it's abnormal, we don't have to worry that they don't wait for it. But then probably didn't happen.
The first place.
Yes,
Like you never made it.
never made it. And the oinus is shchiach, a common oinus. Toisa says kegon. I the paskin word that the boat was not there to take you to cross the river. If you lake oinus, even Ikan says there is oinus. He does not join us. It's not an oinus. The boilatri was upon him to make condition, which means it's common sense as part of the meant not coming. But oinus, the shchiach or shiach, oinus which is not common, not coming. The whole league. The two Lashonis are arguing the Rova. The Ilchese connection the Kama the Rova. That looks like the first Lashon of Rova the Pirash. So what do we got here? We see from Toises makes a chiluk. Real common oiness, uncommon oiness, it's totally oiness. He never meant to obligate himself. There's no even reason to rabbinic to worry about it, right? To throw that oiness. Oiness works. So he never meant. Oinus, which is very shchiach, definitely is a noise because upon you to make your prisha. So definitely it's in. It's a monetary condition. It's a humanitarian condition. Definitely he meant it because it's common. He didn't knock it out. Didn't specify knock it out. It's in that you obligate yourself. Which is common. You should thought about it. And common, not common. We don't know if in monetary condition in a humanitarian condition he meant it or not. We don't know. We have a suffix. So machlokes is here. Oinus works. Well, it doesn't work because rabbinic knocked it out. But according to the side of honest work, is it the Raisa rule or humanitarian condition? The Marit learns a humanitarian condition. That we say that's what he didn't never meant to obligate himself, even the middle case. The Chaim Alevi's world is we knock out the Maisa. We'll see in a second. Let's see now the Chaim Alevi, the last page, or before that, let's learn the Chemda Shloim. The father of all of that school is the Chemda Shloim. You see the Chemda Shloimeh? It's on page 5. It's getting late. It's already 1 more minute we have. So I'll just stop here and tell you the concept. The Chemda Shloimeh learns, and he proves it from Masechet Avodah Zarah, that the Gemara says there that if Goyim force you to bow down to an animal, the animal is not awesome. Why? Sorry. The Gemara would say, that case, we're talking about Goyim forced him. The Gemara asks, the Gemara says, which we don't take as a given, what do you mean if the Goyim forced him to bow down? I need you to speak to him right after this. The Goyim asks you to bow down, you're forced. And notice, I want to pattern. So he says, wait a second. The Goyim force you to bow down, it only exempts you from a punishment, but yet doesn't remove the fact that this animal, somebody bowed down to this animal's nevad. Doesn't matter. But they force you to bow down. So now you are exempt from punishment, but the animal should be prohibited. Okay? Give you an answer. So from here, the Chemda Shloimeh brings proof that honest Nachmana Patra means that I approve the Maisa. The Maisa doesn't relate to me. Therefore, there's no never. So this is the basic of the whole answer to give out. Says I learned from a woman. This doesn't mean because I have mercy on her, she's not it means because she was forced or raped. So and I don't give you a punishment. It's not a question of a punishment. It's a rule that I don't relate the action of the cohabitation to her. That's why I uproot the connection. I don't just say because she was forced, I'm lenient on the punishment and the responsibility of punishment. But she did an action. She was part of the action. It's not kakoilom. She was part of the action. She was afraid not to be part. So I don't punish her. It's not a removal of responsibility of punishment. It's a removal of the action. What? Okay, he has proof to it, but still we after all this school, we're going to learn of Chaim Alevi, and the Geshmul should later. Next few days, guys should openly learn, prepare. But we have to know why. Still doesn't answer. How the rabbis knew that. How did they, if they have two choices, they have the choice of the Marit, and that's a simple way of looking at it. Forget about choice how to read the Gemara. Now I'm an outsider. I'm asking on the rabbis. Why the rabbis learned the story of Naira Moiroso a young woman that was raped, that she's exempt from punishment, is only exempt from responsibility. Rather, they say, I don't relate the action to her. Why they made that jump? Where they got it from? What forced them? What pushed them to say that? What? Who? The what? I can't hear.
Break the
I know that. That's the Chemda Shloimo. And now the people say that these from the same school. And the Shloimo, Belchonon, Chaim. Yeah, but why? But why? Why that? Why we don't relate to Ma'aseh there? And this is the point. I look at it is what? They say in Lanairo, you don't do anything to the girl, which means you don't do what anything means you don't give her punishment. It's a matter of his punishment. How do we know that is not considered that she didn't? I don't relate to Ma'aseh to her. That's a way. I mean, it's a simple way. If I read the Torah, simple way is like the old school. The Marid. No responsibility, punishment. How do I know that I learned the Gemara that there's no action? I don't relate the action to her. That's a big jump. Good way to learn. They prove it from the rabbis, from our Gemara. Our Gemara is a proof. From Rashi, the Gemara learns onsim to Tnoim, not fulfilling Tnoim, right? The onsim by Ksube, by Gitin, it's in Tnoim, humanitarian conditions. So good. And even Aruv is a raya from Neva. It's all great. How do rabbis knew to learn like this in the Torah? This I want you guys to think. Come back to me with an answer. Just once I spoke first, yes. Right. So they stone it. They kill the animal, yes. And here we don't kill the animal. Right. Good must be that I don't relate that action. It's great. And I don't even know that. The rabbis, when they read the Torah, how they found from the story of raping a Nara Moiroso, that's what it means. I don't relate that. Don't do anything to her means punishment. What I said, the Torah says to the patient, don't do anything to her. So it means only what Torah speaks only about punishment. I agree. I understand that theory. I'm not arguing. We're going to exercise and go through the whole ayahs and all through it. What?
They still get paid. You see that something did change here.
No, that's what paying Sholim. That's a different story.
Yeah, but you see the CS so far has changed to some level. She's no longer in the same situation. Even not doing anything, there's something different. We're doing something. Her value has gone down, no?
No, we ask you, how do we know that?
It wasn't the Sadeh. It wasn't the
What?
Sadeh. It wasn't the
Because of a Sadeh, yes.
It was not the food. She didn't put it together with the mouth. It wasn't porous. She was booked off her ears. Maybe it's the Torah Sadeh outside the ear. They say it's a Umdana that she was roots in.
The Torah brings an example. You know why you do anything to her? It's like somebody could have stood on top of another one to kill him. This is the same thing. Which means if I'm being killed and I cannot stop myself, nobody would say I'm part of the act of the killing. So from the dogma is not only a dogma of, it's not only a muscle to a removing of punishment. The choira from the dogma is more than that. But my action, I'm not part of the action. Okay, I have to do a little more about it. It's not Hashem.